Alright, YouTube, I'm gonna try to do what I did last time. This time I'm gonna make a new game, and we're gonna try some docking. So, just call this docking. Wonderful, and we just want sandbox right now. Hey, Kerbal Engineer, how are you? Last time we tried to dock, there were some bugs. Hey, there's a new monolith over there. That thing's pretty big. Let's go ahead to the VAB. And the first thing I need is a docking target. So let's see, what do I want to use for that? Somewhere, I'm so not used to like stock KSP. I'm totally used to Realism Overhaul now. Somewhere, maybe under utility, there's like that big node that we can use for docking. Maybe it's structural, probably structural. Here we go, this is what I want. That hub. Now, do these have built-in docking ports? I think they do. What does it say? I need to say this part. Docking ports sold separately. No, they don't. Good thing I checked. That would have been lousy. So we'll throw some docking ports on this. There we go. I want more docking ports. Why is this not connecting to all of them? Guess I gotta do it one by one. That's annoying. I hate trying to get orientation right. There we go. One more. Come on. Attach. There we go. And now we need some fuel to get this thing into some sort of orbit. And I do have MechJeb installed still, so let's go ahead and find the MechJeb pod. Where's that thing? Command and control. There we go. Stick that right under there. And we need an engine. Let's get Delta V stats out of the way. Engine, I'll use, where's the Terrier? There we go. How much? That's way too much Delta V. Need a smaller tank. Oh, of course I ditched my MechJeb node. There we go, that's enough. Put another one of these on top. There we go. And now let's wrap this in an aerodynamic shell. So first we need a decoupler. Aerodynamics, we use this guy. Alright, that looks somewhat legit. Let's get some big fuel tanks in the bottom here. And let's look for engines. I want, what does the mainsail give us? Probably too much. Does this give us enough thrust to weight ratio off the pad? Yeah, it does. So that should be enough to get into orbit, I think. Let's take a look at aerodynamics. I feel like this is wrong, because that would mean that this is really stable, and as we start burning fuel out of here, this looks like it'd be stable the whole time, but I don't think that's really true. So I'm going to add some fins. It's probably not big enough. I'll use, it's probably too huge. Yeah, way too much. Let's try some of these. What do 3 of those do? As we start draining fuel, looks like it should stay aerodynamically stable. So we'll see if that's actually true. I don't want that center mass to get really below the center of lift. So get some launch clamps. All right. I think this will work. put that in the same stage. Now I'm going to call this target. Oops. Docking target, and do I need a battery? I probably need a battery on this. Utility. I think this guy works. Put him under this docking clamp. That looks pretty good. I guess I need a reaction wheel also to turn this thing around. Put it on the bottom. There we go. And ooh, even though this clips, this does look kind of cool to have that docking port up like that, but I think I will fix that. Edit fairing. Oh, I want you to close. Close fairing. There we go. Let's try launching this guy. Now I want to put this in a 45-degree orbit or something non-equatorial just to make it a little more challenging to rendezvous with it. So let's see if we can do it. Can actually use Smart ASS since I have MechJeb installed. And I'm going to say heading, I'll do 40 degrees. Is that what I want? Yep. And that should be good. Slow and steady wins the race, right? Hey, there's the moon. That's a kind of cool view. Let's just start pitching over. So far, this is staying stable, which is good. Usually it really goes unstable whenever this tank drops real low. And I could stop the flow here and let this bottom one drain. Actually, that's not a horrible idea. Let this bottom one drain. It'll sort of keep the center mass higher. So we shouldn't flip around aimlessly. Once my orbital prograde comes around to 45, I'll probably switch this to orbital prograde. Let's pull up orbit info. There we go. Now I can see my apoapsis. Just keep pitching over. Yeah, I can just go 0 now. And I should probably re-enable these tanks. Yeah, I thought this delta V number looked kind of low before. That's why. This is getting pretty close to 45. I think it's close enough, so not 405, 45. There we go. And I'm not paying attention, and I put my apoapsis up like way too high. But whatever. Yeah, it's a crazy orbit, but we'll go with it. So what I'll probably do, I just realized this guy has no solar panels, so we should probably dock something on this with solar panels to give this guy some power. We can ditch our fairing. And honestly, to reduce space debris, we can go ahead and ditch this guy too. And I'll just add a maneuver node out here to circularize a bit. Don't need a perfect orbit, that's probably good enough. Some time warp. Oh, too far, too far. Whatever. Let's lock to the, turn this off. Lock to the node. I could do it with that, but I really don't care. I just want an orbit that's not going to crash into the ground. Alright, that's good. I think that's what we're going to go with. Kill that maneuver node. And now we have something to dock with. So, let's head back to the Space Center and make something else to dock with this guy. We can really kind of use the same guy that we had here. And we'll add some solar panels. Make him look cool. So, let's see. Utility. And I like the long ones. So I will pump some solar panels, put them, I don't want them hitting these nodes, so kind of put them angled out like that. And I am going to need some RCS. So I will take an RCS fuel tank. Actually, I'm just going to do the radial ones. Fuel tanks. Where's my radial RCS tanks? There we go. I'll use the smaller ones. Put 4 of those on there, and now I'm going to need these guys again. I can't stick them on the tank? What? It stinks. So I'm going to move my tanks up. And I'll put 4 down there. And I'll put some right up here. There we go. And lost a little bit of delta V, but I should have enough still to reach orbit. So docking sat. All right, we'll launch this guy now. All right, so this is my target orbit. So if I launch now, I would not be in line with that. So let's go ahead and fast forward. And I'll do it in the daylight. That way we're not doing a night launch over here. And I'm mainly going to do this without the help of MechJeb too much. It has some docking utilities that you can use, but I'm not going to use those for this. Alright, we are pretty much under our target orbit now, so do the same launch parameters. I will use MechJeb for this. Surface, 40-degree heading. Whoops, execute. Away we go. Guess I can go ahead and start pitching over again. Here's our target. Yeah, so the first step whenever you're trying to dock with something is get into the same orbit. If I was orbiting this way, it wouldn't work too well. I need to orbit this way. So that's what we're doing here. That's why they have launch windows. So whenever they're trying to dock with the International Space Station, there's a launch window so that they're under the ISS whenever they're going to dock with it. Otherwise, they got to do a big plane change, and that's a lot of delta V that they really don't have. Where'd my orbit window go? Did that close? Sure enough, it did. And of course, I probably clicked too fast, so this is no longer my target. Again, I'm just waiting for this orbital prograde to be in line with my target, which should be at a 45-degree angle. Getting some heating on the nose cone. Probably bring this pitch down to 0 pretty soon. Go ahead and pitch down a little bit more. Do I have ascending and descending nodes? Yeah, this is getting close to 0, 7, 6, 5, 4. I want to switch this to 45 degrees. 0.1 degree off, that's not bad. And I should bring this pitch down. This is climbing up. Wonder if I should just wait till burnout. Or at least get this apoapsis kind of up here near my other guy. Yeah, actually, I'll just let it burn out. Why not? There we go. Alright, so I'll just at least get out of the atmosphere. Point prograde that technically should limit our drag losses. And hopefully we don't run into the bug last time. Last time, like the intercept nose that it was showing me was like back in time. But here, so we can see it's counting down, which is good. It was not doing that before. It was counting up. So go ahead and ditch my fairings and get these solar panels out. Extend panels. And extend those panels. And we will separate. And I'm just going to use RCS actually to bump myself up a little bit. There we go. Now we need to circularize. So go up here and at least add a maneuver to get us to circularize. Not just circularize, but at least bring our periapsis down near the other periapsis. Should be good. So we will turn off MechJeb and I'll point at the node. And let's warp ahead 15 minutes. Since this burn is an hour and 17 minutes long, I'm guessing that's wrong. I think it's going to be like 10 seconds long. Once we cycle our engines, though, it'll tell us. Let's see, we'll go here. 2 days. I need to stage the engine. Hey, I was pretty close, 10 seconds. So let's actually warp ahead a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to turn on stability assist. That way it doesn't try to track it and go crazy towards the end. There we go. Just boost forward a little bit. There we go. All right. So now we should get close here sometime. The target's in front of me, so he's actually going faster. So it's going to be a little bit. I should have made a lower orbit instead of a higher one because I'm going to be going slower. So what do? We'll just leave it here, and eventually it'll be at a spot where he's catching up behind us. Yeah, we can see that these intercept nodes are growing. But it should update this time when I cross it. Yeah, it updates. It was not doing that before, so this is a lot better. Getting closer. A few more orbits. We should probably start thinking about probably after the next orbit. So here, let's make a maneuver node here, and we're going to want to lower this periapsis down, but I think we're going to do it one orbit ahead from where we are now. So as we lower this, do you see anything that's getting close? These are kind of close. I think this is the orbit that's ahead. This is intersect 2. Oh, I don't want radial or normal. Let's see, do we see anything that gets really close here? Oh, these guys, maybe. Oh. Right here. What's it do? So it's only 32 meters per second at delta V. I think this is wrong again. I don't know. Let's warp ahead. It says my separation is, yeah, this is totally wrong again. It's counting down, but let me kill this maneuver node. All right, so here it says we are close. So let's add a maneuver node here, and I'm going to be here, and my target's going to be here. So my target's going to be behind me. So it's orbiting slower. So I need to orbit a little bit slower. So really, I think I should boost up to orbit slower. That's not giving me an intercept. It's like so close to giving me one. I'm going to make a maneuver out here. Just adjust radially. Here we go. Here we go. All right. That's much better. 27 kilometers. I think the problem is whenever you try to make an intercept, like right where you're at, they both have the same periapsis or apoapsis, and they're just so close it has a hard time computing. But let's go ahead and right-click on one of these. That'll kind of lock it in. It's supposed to lock it in. It's flickering. Oh, let's see what this node does. Nodes in 20 minutes. So warp over to this guy. 17, 16. It's only going to be a 6-second burn. See if this actually works. Looks like it's close. So let's go ahead and warp over here. Let's see if this actually matches up. It should. Looks like it will. Looks like this will be right. I don't have no idea what this intercept is. Why there's one here and why it's not showing me this close intercept that I'm about to have. So that might be one of the bigger problems that people have whenever they're trying to plan these intercepts. So we'll wait for this guy to get closer. Oh, it looks like he's getting farther away. So yeah, I guess that's about the intercept that we got. We didn't fine tune it too much. But right now, what I can do is at least try to, here, let's go target retrograde. Got plenty of delta V, and we'll at least try to get the same sort of orbit that he's in. And then we can fine tune a little bit more. These are pretty drastic orbital change maneuvers. But you can see now we're pretty close. So let's see, can we make a maneuver over here that fine-tunes this intercept without it going crazy? Separation's going down, that's good. Yeah, it's going crazy again. That's going up. Oh, that was close. So half a kilometer. A little bit radial change. No. So I bet it's just because our inclination is slightly off. We can see, yeah, our ascending node's right here. This is like totally off from it. So really what we should be doing is making a change at the ascending node, because we'll need to do a slight inclination change as well. That's the wrong way. We were closer over here. I'm going to bring it back here. And adjust it again. Oh, I'm going to kill this node. Build it again. Wrong way. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.5. Okay. That's node, and then I'll make another maneuver over there to correct our inclination. So this is in 12 minutes, 4.6 meters per second. We got plenty of fuel. Point to the node, the monode, not wherever else you want to go. And just use RCS to fix this. Actually turn this off and fine tune it. There we go. And now we'll want to make a maneuver up there. Let's go ahead and warp there. Nope, not maneuver. Warp, warp. And I'm just going to point normal. And this is the ascending node, so we're going up. So I should actually point anti-normal. I think we should see this go down. Yep. Let's use RCS. And it's going bonkers, so I guess we're close. So at this point, we should be able to warp here and see that we're pretty close to our target. That's good. Our speed is going down relative to our target. Get even closer. How far away? Oh wait, where did he go? Oh, here he is. 1.4 kilometers. I think we were supposed to get really close, so let's just time warp it. 5, 4, 3, 2. That's close. So now we want to go. Come on. Why is T not working? Off. That's why probably. T and target retrograde. Come on before it gets too far away. There we go. Now let's point towards our target. And let's just burn ever so slightly. Let's get rid of you. I'm not using you now. Now this is where we can use the translation thrusters. Oops. And I'm going to turn off SSAS. And let's get closer first. Retrograde. Slow down when we're about, let's say 50 meters out. We're at least going to dock this time, which is better than last time. I gave up last time. Start slowing down. That's pretty close. Where's the sun? This is a lot easier in daylight. Of course, it's all the way on the other side, so let's just try to fine tune my speed. All right, 0 meters per second. Let's see if that's actually true. Let's time warp to the light side. It's not getting too far away, so it's fine. All right, now we have some sun. All right, so let's go ahead and point back at our target. And now this is where other views come in handy. So I'm actually going to switch to chase view. I don't need the gimbaling to stop having epilepsy. And now I'm just going to use the RCS translation to move myself around. And this is way too sensitive, so I think it's my reaction wheel, so I should turn off this guy. SSAS only, that's good. So it'll use that to orient myself towards the target. And now I want my nav ball here. I wish I could turn off the RCS because it's like fritzing out, but now we can see ourselves moving in. Let's take a look at how our target looks. It's we are facing the wrong way, so we could tell our target to turn around, but that's not as fun. So we're actually going to push ourselves over to the side and sort of loop around our target. And this is where the chase view helps, because it keeps us kind of focused whenever we tell it to point at the target. It will. There we go. Are we in chase view? Or maybe it's locked. Maybe that's what we wanted. Yeah, that's what we want. So we're just going to spin around this guy. I wonder if I can actually turn these off and only use them. Always full action. I haven't messed with these yet. And we need to get closer to our target now. So I'm just using RCS to kind of stop spinning around, and we're going to get closer. Which RCS fuel do I have? That's my battery. Where's my, oh, it's these pods. Oh, we're like killing it. Don't want to do that. So we don't have much RCS left at all. So I'm going to turn off SSAS. And now we're going to have to kind of do this manually. All right, so we have, I think there's a port over there. It's kind of hard to see, but let's see if we can't get in a bit closer. All right, now we're kind of, come on, Don't want to run out of RCS. How much do I have? Alright, so doing it manually is saving me some RCS. Why didn't you stay? Stay. There we go. I need to go up a little bit. And I need to go over here. Just need to kind of be lined up with that node right there. And we're too close. Let's back off. Gonna get this guy. So it's really just a key of using RCS translation and pointing the right direction and not running out of monopropellant. We're totally off kilter here, but here we go. This might be close enough. And using the navball too to align your prograde vector with the target, so we're not totally square, but will we connect? Yes, we connected. All right, so we docked. That was probably the worst docking experience ever. We almost ran out of monopropellant, but I'm going to show you now how you can use some mods. My favorite mod right here for docking is this. What is it called? I don't remember. I'll put the link in the description, but it's like the docking port alignment tool. So I'm going to turn off RCS. I'm going to tell this guy 2-point prograde using the reaction wheel so he'll stop spinning. And now we're going to launch another one of these guys and try to dock in a little bit more seamless fashion. So let's go ahead and back to our Space Center and launch another one. All right, he worked good. All right, let's look at the map. Once again, we'll need to be under our target. We're a little bit ahead of it, so let's port forward again. And I'm going to see if MechJeb does a good job. Well, I think we went a little bit too far, but that's okay. So could even use maybe our ascent guidance. So I know I need a target inclination of 45 degrees. I went full throttle the whole time, so I don't need any of this. I don't like auto stage. So I do like auto deploying solar panels. So let's just see what this does. Engage the autopilot. And really I could tell this to intercept the target. That's cool and that works, but we'll just try this for now. So we can show a simple navball guidance that should kind of track up over here if it works right. What does our ascent path look like? Start turning at half a meter or 100 meters per second, whichever happens first. Half a kilometer, not half a meter. Here's our turn. Yeah, that looks right down over here. I don't really need this, I don't think. Probably throw orbit info also. I don't know why that keeps closing. The map looks pretty good. We're gonna be a little bit off, so we'll need to make an inclination change later, but that's all right. I make this inclination 50, then it'll catch up sooner, and we'll see it start to go even higher. Maybe we can do it early. So can I set this as my target? You should see these nodes. Really, I want my ascending node to come up over here so I can make some adjustments. So I'll lock in my ascending node. And we should see this sort of flip around and come back over here soon. That's at least the plan. Alright, so on the move. We'll get ready to lock this into 45. Actually, if I do it at the apoapsis, it might not be a bad idea. Let's try there. That's good enough. So I'll do a plane change over at my ascending node. Oh, we are like totally burning up, but that's okay. So I guess it put in a node to circularize. We're going to coast up because our apoapsis has hit a 100 kilometers. So at this point, I'll just disable the autopilot. And I'll do the rest manually. We out of atmosphere yet? Almost. So I just need a maneuver here. I'm going to bring down my inclination and pump this prograde. So we have an intercept somewhere. Oh, that's actually looking not horrible. Well, then it went away. So adjust that descending node down. We'll start with that, maybe. At least gets us circularized. So I'm going to... I can really tell MechJeb to execute the next node. Maneuver planner. Execute next node. That's... Actually have enough fuel for that, but I'll probably stop it midway. Can jettison our fairings. I'm gonna abort this just so we lose the stage. And I'm gonna keep executing that. Oh, it doesn't want to do it now. Oh, there we go. I had to stage that engine again. Apoapsis is coming up. That's good enough. Thank you very much. Descending node is a little off. That's okay. We can adjust this here. Actually, if we want to use MechJeb, we can do a maneuver planner, and I could say, actually no, we're going to use the rendezvous auto stuff. So I'll do it somewhat manually. So there's a rendezvous autopilot and planner. I don't really want the autopilot so much. That'll just do everything by itself. I want to sort of manually plan these nodes. So the first thing I want to do is match my plane with the target. And so it's going to do, I think, whatever one comes next. So create node. So right there, it's making a 10 meter per second burn. So let's go ahead and execute that. And that should reduce our relative inclination here to 0. So here we are, about to execute this maneuver. Alright, there we go. So now we have the same inclination. And now what do we have here? We can say but there was something that said fine tune. Yeah, fine tune closest approach. So I want my closest approach to be 200 meters. That's plenty. So it's going to create a node, and that's horrible because it's going to use. I mean, we don't even have that much delta V. So we sort of need to wait. Wonder if there's a. Yeah, it doesn't seem to approach very closely. Plan course correction may be extreme. Recommend picking an approximate intercept orbit, and then plotting a course correction. So we're in different orbits. We have different phasing. So eventually we're at a lower orbit, which is good. So we're going to catch up to our satellite here. And oh, what the heck? Am I entering the atmosphere? I am. What's my periapsis? All right, we need to burn radially. This is not what I wanted to do. So radial burn, radial out. All right, let's kill our speed here. Turn off that gimbal. I don't need it. All right, we're at least going to leave the atmosphere now. I can't believe I didn't notice that we were going to do that. And now here at this apoapsis, I'm going to do a prograde burn. There we go. Can we actually kind of get a close intercept here? Not really. So we'll just sort of do that. So I'm just going to say execute that next node. We still have a smaller orbit than our target, so we still will be catching up. Our sending node got messed up. I wonder how that happened. Alright, now the ascending node looks right. So let's go ahead and time warp a bit. So we know we're going to intercept either here or here. This is where we're the closest. So let's take a look at how close these windows get. So my next one is going to be after this. So we'll warp to where after here. And we can see it's getting a little bit closer. So warp again. And really, if we took a look, we can calculate the orbital periods of these guys, probably off by just a few minutes, and then we can divide that by the divide those minutes by one of them, and then you sort of get like a ratio of how close or how many degrees you catch up. So what if we create a node here? That's not hideous. I still don't like it because we still need to match speed to the target. So what's going to happen? Let's see. Let's try another orbit. I think one more will get us a little bit closer. So I'm going to warp here. It lets me. Why can't I warp? Okay, I guess I'm doing it by hand then. Oh, now it'll let me. And after we pass this node, we'll see how close we are. Oh, so close. So close. That's good. So now, let's remove all nodes and create a new node. Yeah, 12 meters per second. That's much better. I'm going to execute that node. That gives us a lot more leeway. And then all we'll need to do is match with our target here. Relative speed will be 71 meters or 72 meters per second. So that should be all we expect to see on our next node. There we go. And now we can say match velocities with target at closest approach. I don't know why you'd want to do it anywhere else. I guess maybe a fixed time if you're trying to get like synchronous orbits or something, but we'll create that node. And that's the same thing that that these buttons would do. I could say match velocities at closest approach. It's going to make the same node right there, 71.2 meters per second. Let's go ahead and execute this node. Must say this is working much better than last time. And we can pretty much exit this view now, and it's nice. We're going to be in daylight for this. Oh, I never extended my solar panels. What am I doing? I stink at this game. Where's my target? Where's my target? He's above us. So this is where I like to use this guy. And we can kind of remove all these other things. And I do want to keep an eye on my RCS since it went crazy last time. So first step, I want to point at my target. And now that this is green, that means that I'm facing my target, but I'm misaligned from the node that I want. So there's a few different docking ports on this thing. You can see we're cycling through them. If I can get over there, maybe I can get a better idea of which one we're going for. Oh, so close. All right. So, oh, that's perfect. So let's say that we wanted to attach to this guy right here. So I can just sort of cycle through. Bam, that's the one that I want. All right, so let's get closer. So I'm just gonna put my RCS forward. And let's see what happens when I spin off to the side a little bit. And once again, I want to lock in my view. And that means whenever I point left, it'll actually move me left like that, which is good. So ultimately, the goal is to get this cross aligned with this cross in the middle, but also have my prograde vector right in the middle. And we want it to be green. And optionally, we can line this up. So this is kind of like a rotation. So you can see if I rotate this guy, he's turning. So if I want to lift him up, well, it doesn't help that we're kind of facing the wrong direction still. So we'll focus on getting close. So I'll actually keep this line lined up. That gives us one less variable to worry about. And the fact that this is to the left means that I should swing to the left of my target. Now I will do some work, I think, to bring my prograde vector up in line with that. And I'll swing out a little bit more. This is my closing velocity. I'm not sure what's the difference between this distance and this distance. Bring this back down in line, a little bit too high. And I want to start closing into my target a little bit more. And how am I looking? Am I, hopefully I'm facing the right direction. Did I pick the wrong node? Is it on the other side? Yeah, I think it's on the other side. That's why it's red. So that's all right. What I'll actually plan on doing is I will just zoom past it. So we'll at least get in line with our target here. We have plenty RCS. So now we're sort of in line with the target. And I'm just going to sort of pass overhead. And I'll turn off RCS. And we'll use our reaction wheels to keep pointing at the target. And we should sort of see it zoom under us as we pan towards it. And then these should go green also. So let's move a little bit to the side so we don't run into those solar panels. Yeah, let's actually just swing around the side to begin with. All right, things are going green. That's good. And we can see these crosshairs are now starting to come in. There we go. All right, now we want to start killing this. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. Now we can see if we go forward, we'll start to go prograde. And now it's a matter of lining up all these things to cross each other. All right. And we need to point towards our node. This is where it's trying to point to the target and not my actual docking port. So, oops, hitting the wrong button. All right, this is looking pretty good. So it's just a matter of keeping everything, once again, lined up right in the center there. And oh, there we go, connection, bam. So look, we used a lot less monopropellant at that time. I love this docking node alignment tool, I think is what it's called. And we're actually pretty close to being in line here, unlike this guy where we barely had any hopes of even making it. So that's how you dock. Like I said, MechJeb obviously makes it a little bit more easier, gives you some tools, but at least here you can see what it was actually doing and trying to accomplish. So hope you found this useful. And I guess I will see you next time. If you like what you saw, feel free to like this video, subscribe to my channel. I mainly focus on a realism overhaul series right now, so that's why I'm kind of rusty with stock KSP or semi-stock. But hope you liked it. Hope it helps. Until then, see you next time.